I don't even know how I'm expected to do something like this. Immediately following a football game like that. You're talking about a game where this is a defense that's allowed everybody to have their way with them. And the Bills love to pat themselves on the back about how great they are on defense. Our defense should hold. Our defense can make up for all of the deficits that exist on this roster. What say you now? Let's hear it. Who among you are going to stand here in front of me and tell me that you don't, at someplace deep down, hate this staff just a little bit? Just a little bit. You hate this coaching staff just a bit. For the things that we root for Buffalo and we're Buffalo guys. And yet there's NFL things that they don't know and that they don't do and that come back to bite us in the ass. Like the fact that your kicker, he's 0 on kicks over 50 yards, and yet you'd still defer to him. He's making the most money. He has the highest cap hit in the NFL for a kicker. Ooh, look at that. He has the highest cap hit for any kicker in the NFL. You'd think you can trust him with a kick over 50 yards, but you can't because we're the Buffalo Bills, and we built this team this way. We trusted an aging kicker on the downside of his career, the same way we trusted a Dan Carpenter on the downside of his career, and we paid him a ton of money too. So now we're hearing when it matters where, it costs us short, it costs us long, it costs us everywhere. It's but then again, he's not alone. The offensive coordinator, he goes out there and puts on what is a true. He showed current Bills fans who are too young to remember the 6-3 game or the 8-0 snow game. He showed them today what Bills versus Browns football is all about. This game should be played in Hiroshima, just so it's remembered as the second worst thing that ever happened. But I digress because everyone's going to tell me tomorrow that I'm crazy, that everything's okay. And so with that, we're going to open the floor up to questions.
Most of the season you've been bagging on Josh Allen. Other times you're bagging on Daboll. Is it safe to say it's Daboll's play calling and not Josh Allen's play on the field?
Today, I watched a Bills team that on 3rd and 3 called a deep shot down the field with Cole Beasley, who was triple covered. But not a single wide receiver ran a route to the sticks. Our quarterback has shown over the last, I want to say 8 or 9 weeks, that he cannot complete a pass of more than 20 yards through the air. And yet you call it when there's only 3 yards to be gained. I'm sorry. This whole game just reeks of uncreativity on the offensive side of the football. But fuck me, because I'm being too negative. I am too negative, Chris. For those of you in attendance, Melissa, your baby, there's a baby in the audience. Nah, I see the rest of you saying every life, and fuck you too.
Don't you want to kiss the baby?
At the end of the day, this staff is a joke. They called a joke of a game, and what you got was a joke of a result. And yet no one here in Buffalo is willing to listen to this idea that maybe poor coaching yields poor results. And they say, well, we're 6-2. What could go wrong? Everyone is 6-2. Now you're 6-3 and you're in the mix. Those decisions to trust that kicker cost you not just the game, but possibly the season. Next question.
What kind of play calling do you need to see from Daboll to have his trust?
Play calling from Daboll to have his trust? Honestly, I'd rather see him get hit by a train. He will never have my trust. He will never have my trust. Oh, hey there, sweetheart. Let me find your binky. There you go. Oh yeah, that's a binky. Yeah. He will never have my trust. He will legitimately never. I will hate this man until the day that he is no longer here or he strokes out on the toilet like Elvis.
Is there anything that you like on the defensive side of the ball?
On the defensive side of the ball, what's not to like? They held the team under 20 points. That should win you most NFL football games. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. So, what happened here, if I had to pick out specific things that I liked about the game, first of all, Tremaine Edmonds. I was bagging on him early because he was shooting gaps prematurely. He was missing his tackles. But then, when he shot the gap and it mattered, in the red zone, he got his first sack of the season, and it was a safety.
Hear, hear.
Who love that? Also, you look at the defense. Our secondary, this is what the Browns should have looked like all year. Using Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry to pick apart opposing secondaries. Of course it's the Buffalo Bills that they choose to just finally figure it out. That's the week that it works. If I can digress from all of this, I have one major problem with today's game. The fact that they spent the whole game talking about the Cleveland Browns and most importantly, Kareem Hunt. You spent most of your broadcast time talking about Kareem Hunt and how he's back and he's doing this and he's doing that and he could do this and could do that. You're literally propping up a guy who just, he literally beats women, but you're going to prop him up over talking about a guy like Nick Chubb, who, I don't know, is just second most in yards in the NFL per game. I'm sorry. You as a league celebrate the guys who don't do things correctly and then wonder why people are, I don't know, kind of turning against the shield.
What can you say about Levi Wallace's performance today?
Levi Wallace is who he is. This team and this fan base made him out to be something he isn't. He's an average cornerback. He's painfully average. And so when you put him in coverage against exemplary wide receivers like Jarvis Landry, you cannot expect him to cover that man. The Bills need to address the defensive side of the football, even though they don't think that they do. They've made it to this point. We're 6-3. Everyone likes to think everything's fine. But ultimately, it's not, and it's not going to be. He proves that there's a chink in our armor where you can pick on whatever side of the field Trey White's not on with relative success. Teron Johnson, Saron Neal, it doesn't matter. Also, the Buffalo Bills secondary, who used to be opportunistic, they dropped every opportunity they had to make a game-changing play. We have a question from Beck.
If you could say one thing to Brian Daboll, what would it be after today's performance?
After today's performance, if I had one thing that I could say to Brian Daboll, it'd be this. If you don't pack your shit yourself, I will do it for you after you stroke out on the toilet like Elvis. Folks, I have nothing more to give you, and neither does this Buffalo Bills football team. You found out today who we really are. Now we just got to hope that that's enough. I'll see you around.